watch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it's so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, welcome into the JP Peterson Show on a non-loss Monday. It's not a victory Monday, but it's a non-loss. The Bucs didn't lose. They actually improved their standing in the NFC by watching all the other teams crap the bed. Welcome into the show, brought to you by Emerging Investigations and the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. Lots to get to today, and today's going to be a little different because most Mondays we spend about 95% of the show talking about the Bucs. Obviously, the Bucs did not play, but we will talk about the Bucs in terms of what we did see in the NFL and how this cements the fact that the Bucs now have a chance to make a deep run into the playoffs. I think that's something that we saw. At least I will. We will embellish upon that. And we're also going to get to the United States men's national team, which will get going today, right?
Yes. Good morning to you. Today
morning,
at
Nick
2
Geddes.
o'clock, I did wear my USA soccer hat today.
I see that.
I'm in the mood. I got up early this morning to turn on England and Iran. So I'm already enjoying my World Cup.
Except for all the political bullcrap that's going on at the World Cup.
I mean, it seems like every country has issues with everything. Now,
Yes.
the Iranian ones are a lot deeper, I'd say.
Yeah.
They did not sing their national anthem, and neither did the fans in attendance as well.
There was once a time when politics did not infect our sports. This is true. Believe it or not. You're probably not old enough to remember this. I mean, obviously, famously, and we've talked about it since the Bucs went to Munich last week, the ultimate or the worst, the most tragic intersection of politics and sports in the Munich games when the Israeli members of the Israeli Olympic team were murdered by terrorists. And we've seen, obviously, 1968, the fist in the air. But for the most part, we went through a time of politics not being affected by sports, and now politics is completely affected by our sports is completely affected by politics, and it's become part of the conversation, the world conversation. I don't know if it's good or bad for the world in general, because it does bring certain things to light, but it's certainly bad for sports. If you're a sports fan, you're tired of it, you're weary of it. You just want as my cohort always says here today. What do you always say to me when I come in talking about politics and sports?
Let's just stick with the sports.
Can we just watch the games?
Can we just watch the games? Can we enjoy the games? And that's how I'm typically doing with the World Cup. You know, you're mindful of what's going on in some of the other countries. Yeah. So I'm not trying to ignore them or anything, but when the game starts, and that's where my focus is. And like I said, I'm enjoying it because we have a Winter World Cup this time, which feels a little weird.
I'm
not going to lie to you.
Feels really weird.
All this football going on. I know there's a lot of people, you said that there may have been a lack of excitement.
Yeah, because we're not talking about usually the lead up in summer because it's kind of dead. There's no football going on. It's just baseball. And you're talking, almost every member of the United States the men's team and the women's team when they play as well. And now you don't. You really don't. There's just really not been any room in the sports broadcasting calendar to talk about it because, when producers are putting in lineups for shows on ESPN, Fox, and all these major networks, what they don't do is put in a line for the United States men's national team in the World Cup because something's got to go, and they're not going to take out Cowboys or Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady in the rundown for a soccer story. They're just not, and they'll do it because they're forced to by a corporate sponsor. But for the most part, you're not. So we haven't had a whole lot of it.
Yeah, but I do think today, though, it is going to be on center stage because it's Thanksgiving week. There's no school in most scenarios around the country. A lot of people are at home.
Yep.
It's at 2 o'clock. So, I mean, it's right there for you. It's on Fox. That's one of my big gripes so far with the World Cup, by the way.
Yeah.
Both games have been on FS1. I don't know about – it's the World Cup.
Yeah.
And
I
understand Ecuador and Qatar are not exactly a barn burner by any means, but we couldn't get that on Fox. Really?
There's no way they're putting that on Fox.
It's the World Cup opener.
You know what kind of number that would get on Fox? Yeah.
I'm sure the NFL pregame did more numbers. But
yes.
In terms of making it feel big, I would have appreciated it.
So you wanted them to put on Qatar and Ecuador instead
yeah.
of the NFL? Yeah, exactly what I'm talking about. That is not going to happen.
Well, the U.S. is on today on Fox.
Again, but it's a Monday. they wouldn't have scheduled this game on a Sunday.
They couldn't put England on Fox. England's on FS1 at 8:00. We really had to have just the regular
this
news.
Morning?
Yes. Why is it on FS1?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't even have FS1.
A ton of people don't have FS1. And the ones that have it probably can't find it anyway. So, yeah, these World Cup numbers are going to be down dramatically, and the sponsors are going to have to get rebates on their advertising dollars that they paid to Fox and these other countries. That's going to be another big deal.
No one bigger than Budweiser, though.
Yeah, and now the biggest controversy over there is you can't drink at the games. Like we talked a little bit about this on Friday, but 2 days before the actual event, they're like, yeah, we're not going to allow people to actually drink at the games. Like 2 days before the event, when everybody's booked their travel, everybody's done everything. Is that not the most fraudulent thing in the history of major sporting events? That is such, and you knew they were going to do it all along.
And the Ecuador fans, by the way, were chanting in unison yesterday, "We want beer," in Ecuadorian language. So there you go. And then also today, how about this? You have all these people that come, thousands of miles to go see this game in the World Cup, and FIFA has an official app for the ticketing services.
Right.
It froze
and
broke before the game. So thousands of England and Iran fans, as the game has started, are outside and they can't get in because the ticket service broke.
And there wasn't a complete riot, storming of the gates?
I don't believe so, no.
That happened to us. I think I might have mentioned this when we were at the FSU-LSU game at the Superdome. Like the line to get in was so long, and they had just a few ticket takers that we literally walked in without them scanning our tickets and they didn't care because they were so overwhelmed that they just told the people they didn't say anything, but as the person, the one person waiting for 20,000 people to get in was trying to get her scanner to work. Everybody was just like, we're standing there waiting in line. We're like, do you want to scan? You don't really care. Okay. So we just walked right in.
This is a good.
I think that's probably what happened here.
A good discussion real quick is why is like at all these events, no matter what it is, why is service so bad? Like it's not even because I have a good story for Friday night too, by the way.
Okay.
Because I went to the Cody Johnson concert at the England
First
Center.
and foremost, nobody wants to work. I saw this stat the other day. There are 7 million able-bodied men, healthy men, 7 million that used to be in the American workforce that are no longer in the workforce or even looking for jobs. Now, I don't know how they're making money to live, but that's a fact. And young people, for the most part, that did a lot of these service jobs, working in drive-thrus and things like that, they're not working anymore. So there's nobody to really do these jobs. If you're wondering why the service industry is so bad, and in the ticket thing is, why we don't have paper tickets anymore? So they can track everything. And so Ticketmaster can have a monopoly on all tickets. And the teams now were pissed off because they couldn't get a slice of the secondary market. But now by controlling all the tickets electronically, they can now get a slice of the secondary market by the Ticketmaster fees. Those Ticketmaster fees just don't go to Ticketmaster. They go to the teams as well for giving Ticketmaster the monopoly on controlling all the tickets. This is one of the things that's going on with the Taylor Swift thing. So they can now they can control it, and they can get the secondary market money as well, because these tickets are selling for thousands of dollars, and the people are like, well, why isn't that money coming to us? Why is it going to scalpers? And I kind of get that. And they don't want to price the tickets so high that you price everybody out, because then that would create a firestorm as well. So this is their way of controlling the tickets on the secondary market as well.
Well, I hate it. We all hate it. It's probably it's probably the one thing, one of the few issues that everybody in this country can agree on, is that we all hate Ticketmaster and we hate those fees. Yes.
By the way, I'm looking for 6 FSU tickets. If you're out there, 3 pairs is fine. And I just will not pay these ridiculous Ticketmaster fees. So let's cut Ticketmaster out of the deal. If you have your tickets up on, and you want whatever you want to sell them for, that's fine. I just don't want to give the money to Ticketmaster. So let's cut Ticketmaster out. That's hashtag cut Ticketmaster out. So just go on Twitter, put your tickets up on Twitter or someplace else, because you can't transfer them legally and easily But everybody thinks the only way they could sell them is by Ticketmaster. And we can get more on Ticketmaster. No, you're not, because they're going to eat up all your profit with their fees. So cut Ticketmaster out, just sell them directly to the people.
Well, on the note of bad service, real quick before we get to the sports today. So I was at the Cody Johnson concert Friday, as you know, at the Yuengling Center. And I walk in, and I'm looking at the longest beer lines I have ever seen in my life.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, well, I mean, it's, thousands of, hillbillies in here. I get it. But at the same time, I wait in the line. And I get up there closer, and it's already been like 30 minutes in the line.
Ooh.
This is how they were doing it, by the way. You get to like near the front of the line, and they have like the beer coolers, and you take out what you want yourself. And then you wait in line a little bit longer. And then when you get to the front, you pay for it. And they have one person opening and pouring in plastic cups for you. And that is why the lines were so long. They had no cans for you to just like take to your seat or anything like that. You had to wait for one person who looked like a college student, by the way, just getting like volunteer hours, pouring every single beer at every single stand.
Are you kidding me?
I wish I was.
You know what? I honestly, I would have taken it out, put my $20 right by take a picture of it, go, here's the money. I'm not stealing this, but I'm not waiting in that line. I'm not doing that. I can't do it. It's just that is such a failure of management. But but you think management? Well, they may not want to pay employees. They may not want to. I don't know that. But the likely problem is they can't even pay somebody $20 an hour to do that job. Nobody wants the job. Nobody wants it.
No.
And I don't know where everybody's getting their money to live on. I haven't figured that part out yet. I think it's coming from the government in some way, but I haven't figured out why we can't find anybody.
It was just an odd method in general. That's a new one for me.
That's stupid.
And the kicker too, you get to the line, by the way, and guess what beer they had?
Miller Lite and Coors Light.
No, I wish. All they had was Yuengling, hence the Yuengling Center.
Of course,
but that's all they were selling, though. No other options.
Welcome to the future, babe. Everything's controlled by corporate America. Choices go down, prices go up. You lose. Yeah, that's the world we live in today, unfortunately. All right, so let's get to some of the sports. Big game tonight. Big game tonight at Emily Arena. Brian Bradley's going to join us at 11:30 to talk about this, and I believe we have Jeff Antonella, our famous local soccer guy, former Rowdy MLS player, goalie. I believe he's going to join us at 10:30. He's going to join us at 10:30. So I have to admit candidly that I'm just not too versed on this United States men's national team. So I'll probably leave it to you two to get the important stuff out to the folks. But before we get into hockey, real quick, and we'll get back to this obviously with Jeff. We have a pretty good chance to get to the second round, right? We got Iran and Wales in our group, and England. And I'm not even saying we can't beat England. I mean, let's go. Hashtag 1776. Let's go. Let's go.
I don't know about that one. But no, I think USA definitely. I think they're the second ranked team in the world in the group behind England. Wales are not in the
second highest rank.
Yes. Wales are not in the biggest run of form by any means, but they have some pretty good to decent players there. So they're not going to be an easy test by any means. Iran is actually ranked 20th in the world.
Wow.
This is your stat of the day. They allowed only 5 goals in 16 matches leading up to the World Cup qualifying matches. Just 5 goals.
Wow.
And England have put up 6 on them today.
Wow.
So clearly that defense has completely just collapsed. And they look just absolutely demoralized. So they should be for the taking for the U.S. But also, too, you win the first game, 6 goals.
Wow.
You win the first game of the group, 84% chance you move on. 84% chance if you win the first game of the group. So this is massive for the U.S. to get it done today.
We have a request for a topic here from the great Scott Fitzgerald, who's listening in. Can't wait to hear you talk about the Gators' loss to Vandy.
Oh, we'll be getting there.
Yeah.
We have a lot of teams in the state of Florida to break down who lost to this weekend.
Yeah, Florida State's win over Louisiana was, again, extremely impressive. They are scoring points at will. Any way you want to score them, they're doing it. Jordan Travis is doing it every which way he can. I think Syracuse, he caught one, ran for one, and threw for one. And against Louisiana, they did whatever they want. They can run. They're the best. They may be the best running football team outside of Army and Navy in the nation, and maybe better than them. And by this the Gators can't stop the run.
No, they can't.
They cannot stop the run. I mean, I hate to say this in a rivalry game, but we'll certainly break it down all week long. They're going to stomp the hell out of the Gators. They are going to. The FSU is going to run through them probably for, if they want to, it could be 300 yards. It could be. But they may just throw the ball instead, just for fun. This is getting really cocky. I feel bad about this, but when you break out in the game, you look at you just lost to Vanderbilt, bro. But Vanderbilt's won 2 in a row. So what? And didn't you tell me Vandy got fined for storming the field?
$250,000 to be exact.
Talk about how it happened. This is hilarious.
We all remember the scenes from Tennessee beating Alabama, right?
Oh my God, yes.
Just absolutely pandemonium. People just jumping right over that wall to get to the field, just trampling everybody. This was a little different. So nobody jumped over any walls. These sophisticated Vandy students. They followed the rules. They went down a flight of stairs, single file, and not exactly moving
inside the velvet ropes.
Yeah, and by the way, not moving quickly. It was like just a quick little stroll down the stairs. Like, oh, I don't want to fall. I want to hold the railing.
Is this how we do it? We've never done this before. Go down these stairs. Okay.
Well, no, we learned that they have because they were fined so much because this is their third offense of the policy.
Oh, wow.
Vanderbilt.
Wow.
But the funny thing, so yeah, they get on the field, and when they get there, nobody rushes towards the center. Everybody's just walking. Everybody's just walking around. Yeah, I'm on the field. We won something.
Woo.
Here we go.
Woo.
And it wasn't like a packed house. There was a lot of Florida fans there.
Yeah.
But it's just funny, under the SEC's policy, they get fined $250,000. South Carolina, the entire stadium empties out after demolishing Tennessee, and they get fined $100,000. So tell me how that one works right there. SEC.
That doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
No, which I think the policy's silly to begin with. Storm the field, have fun.
Endowment. I don't know.
I don't know
how
but
that works.
Interesting though.
Yeah. Gator fans calling Billy Napier Billy Taggart.
That's a little harsh.
That's a little early for that.
That's a little early.
A little early for that.
No. Did Willie Taggart ever have the 8th ranked recruiting class at Florida State? I don't think so.
No, I don't think he did. I think he his first season was like 20th out of nowhere. Yeah, but a lot of those guys never made it to their sophomore season. Yeah, if I'm a Gator fan, FSU, excuse me, lost to Jacksonville State last year, and now they're up to 16th in the top 25. They are top 15 in both offensive and defensive efficiency. One of only 4 teams in the nation to do that. The rest are in the top 5. I mean, you want to talk about a rapid and incredible turnaround in 1 year. And Billy Napier is a great recruiter, and their incoming class is going to be great. Whether he can hit in the transfer portal like Mike Norvell has remains to be seen. But yeah, this is, if I'm a Gator fan, I don't know if Billy Napier is going to be a good coach. I don't know, but it seems to me he's got a lot of pedigree. I wouldn't be throwing in the towel just yet on Billy Napier. But that's a bad loss.
I guess so, but I mean, look at you're in a rebuild. Okay, when you're in a rebuild, you're going to lose games that you should win.
Yeah,
it's going to happen.
Yep.
And I said it this week. It looked like the old-fashioned trap game, and that's exactly what it was.
Yep.
Vanderbilt. Listen, is Vanderbilt really that much more like not as talented as Florida at this stage? Really? I mean, Florida's got some really good players. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of it's really not there.
They're SEC players. Vanderbilt's SEC players, and they're having a better year. They got a better coach. They're just better than they've been, and that happens. And, I don't want to be the guy sitting here defending Billy Napier, but I guess I am. It's way too early, folks.
Well, he's trending because people are like jumping off his bandwagon after a loss to Vanderbilt.
Well, when FSU lost to Jacksonville State, it was the same thing. It was like, and they wrote all the articles about how is Mike Norvell any better than Willie Taggart at this point, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, well, I saw the Notre Dame game, and I saw some of these other games, and they have a lot more fight. They're definitely more organized. The offensive line is getting better. They're way more disciplined than they were. That's not even close. So you could see tangible signs of progress. But then you went and lost to Jacksonville State, and you're like, my God. And even that game, they should have won the game 7 times over. They made like 4 or 5. Well, actually, I think somebody went through and said if you make any one of these 9 plays, you beat Jacksonville State. But you can't let that happen. But you had to be stupid to not see the signs of progress. There were definitely signs of progress on the field. It was undeniable. And then they win their last, 4 games, I think FSU did. We went on a bit of a streak at the end, and then they lost to Florida. But you could feel something coming. I think when you look at Billy Napier, they play, they hung in there with LSU. I mean, these are teams
they beat Utah. They had to play 4 top 10 teams in the nation at the time they played them this year.
There you go. And they had a really nice comeback against Georgia in the second half. They got it to within 8 points, and I know Georgia pulled away. But these are the best teams in the nation. Tennessee, all these teams, they're hanging with. I'm not. You can't punt on Billy Napier or not right now. That's just silly.
You can listen. I think Florida, honestly, offensively, they can score with most teams. And listen,
look how much better Anthony Richardson has gone.
Yeah, he's gotten a lot. I don't want that to be lost in the game. He played, I thought, pretty well against Vanderbilt really well. There. Yeah. Just defensively all year long, that's been Florida's downfall. But it takes time to fix that part of that side of the ball.
Yeah, it's these things are going to happen in a rebuild, folks. Look at your recruiting class. If you're a Gator fan, and Scotty Fitz is going to hate me for doing, propping up Mr. Napier. He just wants to laugh at how bad the Gators are. Don't worry. You'll get your moment, Doak Campbell Stadium on Friday. FSU, for all intents and purposes, should beat the living tar out of Florida. But you never know. It's a rivalry game. And, if Florida can hang with LSU and Tennessee and Georgia, and I know then they can hang with Florida State. But we'll see. We'll see. If Anthony Richardson has a great game, you miss a few tackles, he's out the gate. You ain't going to catch him. So it's probably foolish of me to be cocky about this. But anyway, we've kind of morphed into our college football segment, so we'll just kind of go with that right now. But, I mean, when you look at what it's been the Gator defense, right? It's been the defense that has just been awful this year. And at times they can't stop anybody, including Vanderbilt. And when when Richardson brought them back in this game, they would just give up the booty again, time and time again. The defense is just god awful, and you're just not going to win. You can stay in games and keep up offensively with other teams, but you're not going to win any games.
And who the hell was he throwing to, by the way?
Yeah, Shorter.
I mean, who is? I mean, we got guys entering the portal. We got guys who are injured.
Right.
I mean, there's no elite weapon or even close to competent weapon right now in Florida's offense.
As Jeremy Lowe says, injuries in the receiving room. Yeah, that's a huge part of it. No question about it. And, FSU's been getting healthier as the year goes on. They got Fabian Lovett back. Jared Verse now is back to being healthy. All their receivers are back. I mean, their receiving core. I mean, they may lose some good receivers in the portal just because they have too many. They've gone from the worst receiving core in college football the last 2 years to maybe the best, or at least the top 5. With the group that they have now.
Yeah, and right now they are playing. I'd argue they're playing at like a top 10 team right now.
They are.
If you just strictly,
no question.
If you just strictly re-rank the teams right now based on how they're playing, I think they're better than a lot of teams that are in front of them right now. I don't think many teams would want to play them at the moment.
No.
We talked about how teams evolve. I truly think if Florida State got another crack at Clemson, it'd be a completely different game.
Well, and this goes back to game management, which I've been talking about all year long with Mike Norvell. He's been terrible in the big games and game management. He's been terrible. Shouldn't have lost the NC State game. That play call at the end of the game when Jordan throws the interception was just horrific on so many levels. You can't make that call. You just can't. Not the way they're running the football, not the way they're doing in that situation. And Jordan, you can't make that throw. But first and foremost, you don't make the call.
No.
If you don't make the call, then you don't make the throw. So So that game management was terrible. And I can mention 5 other things in that game as well. Against Clemson, the fake punt with 4th and 6 or 7, running it inside, against a punt safe defense. You call that off. That was a terrible, and that turned the tide. They had a terrible turnover in that game just before the half. It's just a lot of things. And of course, that's not game management. I get it. But they're against Clemson. I remember one particular drive. I think it may have been the first or second drive of the game where they ran the ball at 12 yards, 14 yards, 8 yards, 7 yards, 4 yards, 8 yards, like all the way down to the 40, and then they inexplicably throw the ball 3 times. And you're just running at will, and then you end up punting, and it's so many times they've shot themselves in the foot in those big games. Against Wake Forest, you go back to look at that game. They had the ball, I think, 3 times inside the 5-yard line and came away with 3 points. They ran 3 fades in a row, I think, to Johnny. Just so many stupid things. And I think for the past 4 games, when all these have been blowouts, Norvell, for the most part, has started to trust his players and trust what they can do and not call stupid plays and try to bail themselves out with low percentage pass plays when you can turn around and hand the ball off almost every single time and get 7 yards.
Yeah. They just, to me, they look like a team that's been just – they're excited to come to work the next day.
Yep.
I'm seeing all these videos and photos from this morning at practice, and guys are smiling. Guys are having a good time. It looks like they've got some of that swagger back a little bit to them where they really want to go out there because they know they're better than all these teams now.
They are.
I mean, it's been so long to say that. The ACC in general is just odd to me. North Carolina losing this week, blowing any chances they had or doing anything special this year.
Yeah.
FSU now jumps them in the rankings. So now FSU, it's like, take care of your business against Florida, hope for some mayhem this week, and you got an outside shot of making a New Year's Six bowl.
That's crazy.
That's where they are right now.
That's crazy. And by the way, you know who's not going to a New Year's Six bowl?
I'm just going to turn this way.
UCF. UCF is not going to a New Year's Six bowl. Not going. Not going to the... What the hell happened to UCF against Navy? Navy? You can't beat Navy with your top 10 defense? What the hell happened to UCF? Charge on? Charge on to the Weed Eater Poulan Bowl. That's what you can charge on to. You can charge on to the Bahamas Bowl. That's what you could charge on to. Still think they're better than Florida State?
This
is so enjoyable.
Listen,
you have no idea.
Listen, UCF did me a favor. I'm going to save a lot of money. I was going to blow a lot of money on a plane ticket to Dallas, on gear to watch UCF beat Alabama inside Jerry World.
Beat Alabama.
And now
beat Alabama.
And now all I got to do is I can
start with Navy.
And now instead of getting on a plane, instead of spending that money to go to Dallas, I can get in my car and I can go up down Yeehaw Junction and I'll see y'all in Boca. I'll see y'all in Boca for the Boca Bowl.
The Boca Bowl. From the Cotton Bowl to the Boca Bowl.
Yeah, against like Kansas or something. I'll see you there.
From the Golden Throne to the Wooden Outhouse in a heartbeat.
Navy.
I just watched the end of that game. I just watched. I think it was Navy was just salting it away, running.
Navy threw one pass.
Yeah, that's usually what they do.
They didn't even complete it.
Yeah.
They beat UCF at home.
Yeah.
With a conference championship and a New Year's Six bowl bid on the line.
Yeah. Yeah. Gus Bus have a couple flat tires? Did the Gus Bus?
He ran out of gas.
Put a little sugar in the old gas tank, in the Gus tank?
Yeah. He did.
Yeah.
I can't even talk about it. I'm disgusted.
No good.
I'm not.
Well, it's clear who the best team in the state of Florida is. That's for sure.
Well, they're the only team that won in the state of Florida this week.
Yeah, it's clear.
Oh, and by the way, the USF Bulls are going to win this week. Book it.
What about their quarterback?
Book it. Shout out Will Turner, by the way, for smartening us up on this.
How about that?
They found somebody. They have a really good quarterback now.
Byron Brown?
Byron Brown from Rollsville, North Carolina.
Yeah, Will Turner came on here. Was it Friday?
Yeah, it was Friday.
And he said this is my favorite of all the quarterbacks.
This is going to be, he said, this is the USF quarterback of the future. This is the only player that I went and stayed to watch like multiple times in high school and things like that.
And did he just transfer in last week, a couple of weeks ago?
You'd think, yeah.
What are we doing? Like Jeff Scott's sitting at home going, I should have played him. Yeah. I knew he was the best guy.
What did he complete? His first 18 passes?
Yes.
This was reminiscent of this was close to like the Jameis performance against Pitt in 2013.
Yeah.
Where he just started out where he couldn't, no pass would hit the ground.
Yeah. 22 of 23, I think Jameis was. No, 28
He was
29.
25 for 27.
Yeah, whatever. One of those.
But Byron Brown, I think, started 18 for 18. And with his legs, too, I mean, that offense looked like a well-oiled machine all of a sudden.
What the hell? I mean, this guy's sitting behind Timmy McLean, Gary Bohannon,
and Travis Marsh.
who, by the way, had neck surgery and is doing well as you can do after having neck surgery, for God's sakes. Get better, my friend. And then this kid's sitting on the bench. I mean, are you kidding me?
They still lost the game.
I know, but I mean, at least there's something to look at. And my God, if they could beat UCF,
I'm scared.
If they beat UCF, does what's the guy's name? The interim coach, Del Prado. Does Del Prado get the gig? If they beat UCF,
you might as well get the gig.
I mean, my God.
This is the last time these two teams are going to play for a good while here.
Yeah, but it's a stark contrast to see you fire a coach like that, and then this team plays like this. I mean, as much as I love Jeff Scott, there was something rotten in Denmark. I mean, there was clearly these guys were not going to play for him. They did not respect him. That's bad.
Yeah,
that's bad.
I'm scared though. I mean, UCF probably is demoralized after that loss, and now USF's got nothing to lose, right? And has got a quarterback who's basically auditioning for the next coach for the next year.
Yeah.
Yikes! I got some worries. I have some worries.
Yeah.
Now then again, their defense still can't stop a fly, but
can't stop anything.
But still
terrible. Poor Ernie Sims, who's the new defensive coordinator, has got nothing. He literally could, at his, I don't know how old he is. He still looks great, but he could definitely suit up and go out there and play better than anybody.
The next head coach just needs to go ahead and sign 10 defensive linemen next year.
If you can find them.
If you can find them.
I mean, hey, you can play right away. You can play right away. No question about it. You can step right in and play right away. All right, and then the USC UCLA game. Oh, what that was, in the Rose, that was a fantastic game.
The Rose Bowl was finally rocking for like the first time this year.
Yeah,
about time.
I tell you what, I mean, when UCLA and those uniforms and USC and the Rose Bowl, I don't know about you, but that's just like, that's college football to me back in the day. People are like, what are you talking about? I'm like, that whole scene, that whole picture is just, I used to be a huge UCLA fan when I was a kid, a young kid, because dad got me a UCLA jersey, and I wore the hell out of that thing for about 8 years. As I'm growing up. Yeah. Became a half shirt after a while. But, I mean, wow. And now USC in 1 year with the transfer portal and the new coach.
That's all it took.
But they've got what? They got Notre Dame.
They got Notre Dame.
Be a hell of a football.
That's going to be a tough game for them.
Yeah, that's going to be a hell of a. But look at Notre Dame's doing.
They're rolling right now. They are rolling right now.
I mean, you look at this is why a 12-team playoff
would be fantastic.
Was another great thing, because look how different FSU is at the end of the season. Look how different Notre Dame is at the end of the season. Look how there's so many, and you have to go.
And look at those monster brands you're adding into it. By the way.
Oh my God, yes. Yeah.
You're adding Penn State, Notre Dame, and Florida State probably into the mix right now if you had a 12-team playoff.
Holy shiz. I mean, my God. Think about that. I mean, we go nuts over March Madness because there's so many teams representing so many areas. A 12-team football playoff, and the first games would be at on site, right?
Yep.
On campus.
Yep.
Top four teams get buys. And then you're going to have like packed houses in all these stadiums across America. And then you're going into quarterfinal games at that point.
Yeah, imagine like USC right now playing Alabama or something like in the Coliseum.
Florida State playing Notre Dame. Florida State playing Tennessee.
Yeah, like imagine like these matchups that you don't really get to see often. Like as we get to expansion and there's going to be more and more teams playing in conference, like this would be a chance to finally see these Titans go at it in these big games.
Last year everybody's going 12-team playoff. Who really cares? But this year,
I'm fully on board now.
Wow, wouldn't it be awesome? That final poll is going to be really interesting, even all the way down to 12.
Because all
15.
4 teams this week, and then throw Tennessee in there, they had the biggest trip up of them all. But all 4 teams were tested.
Yeah.
Georgia wins by 10. Ohio State struggled with Maryland.
Yes.
Michigan, lucky to get out against Illinois. And then TCU, one of the damnedest walk-off finishes I have ever seen against Baylor. All 4 teams had a chance to lose there.
They could have all lost. Imagine what we'd be today.
I don't know how you'd rank them. I don't know how you'd rank them. Would LSU be one? I don't know.
That would be total freaking chaos. Oh, that would have been great. Total, because then you'd have almost. Well, no, they'd still only have 1 loss, but then the chance to get one more loss in the SEC title game or the Big 12, any of these teams. There could be a lot of teams with 2 losses. Yeah. You might have 2 teams with 2 losses in the playoff.
It didn't happen. Georgia undefeated, and it looks like to me they're probably still number 1 in the nation, like they should be.
Yeah.
I say like they had a chance to lose, but they they were never going to let Kentucky score on them. They kind of just coasted through that game. The other three, though, definitely they were nail biters to the end.
They were, but man, this playoff coming up. What, 2 years now? We got to wait, right?
2 years we got to wait.
More.
Yep.
And then it's the 12-team playoff. Okay. FSU will be right in the mix, hopefully, by then. All right, we'll take our first break. We'll come back on the other side, and we'll get to the Bolts Bruins coming up tonight at Amalie Arena. This is going to be a big game. Bolts get a big win over the weekend at Nashville. So stay with us. Lots more to come. We're brought to you by Emerging Investigations, emerginginv.com, Tampa Bay's #1 private investigation agency, and the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. If your car was totaled and you didn't get the money you think you should have gotten, you probably have a case. It's a free consultation. Go to JeevesLawGroup.com and find out. Back with some Bolts talk when we return. Stay with us. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group. I've known Scott Jeeves for quite some time, and he's just like us, a huge college football fan. He loves his Gators. In fact, he sponsors our Gator Report every Thursday at 11 o'clock with Scott Carter from FloridaGators.com. But he's not just another PI attorney. He is a ferocious advocate for his clients. Scott Jeeves is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator practicing in Tampa Bay for over 30 years. He is an AV preeminent rated civil trial lawyer and certified circuit court mediator. Folks, these designations are not just given out. They're given only to the best trial attorneys. But more than anything, Scott takes these cases personally. I've heard it from his clients. He's a fighter you want on your side. Insurance companies hate it when they see you're represented by Jeeves. He's just different. 727-894-2929 or go to JeevesLawGroup.com. That's JEEVES lawgroup.com and tell him JP sent you.
Guys, let me tell you about Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Are you experiencing low sex drive, fatigue, hot flashes, moodiness, and you just don't feel like you have the vitality you once had? You're not just getting old, it's likely low testosterone. Studies over the last 20 years show a shocking decline in younger males aged 16 to 39. Older men have seen a sharp decline as well. Do something about it. Go see my friend Christopher Lugo at Bay Area Modern Medicine. Testosterone replacement is not a frivolous treatment. It takes a professional, targeted approach that focuses on total body wellness, vitality, and emotional stability. Not a one-size-fits-all approach like many clinics use. They will monitor your blood work and adjust your treatment as needed for optimal results. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling.
Now is the time to make sure your home insurance is in order. In the last year, many of us have made improvements to our homes. So call the folks at Italiano and discuss these upgrades to make sure you have enough coverage. According to a recent report, almost 64% of homeowners don't have enough insurance on their home, which is their most valuable asset. Also, a great time to make sure you have flood insurance. Even if your mortgage company does not require flood insurance, your home could still be at flood risk. Another big item as we enter hurricane season is making sure your pool enclosure is added to your policy and there will be no issue at claim time. That happens a lot. So call your friendly agent at Italiano Insurance to review your policies today. 813-877-7799 or ItalianoInsurance.com. Attention, if you are home shopping or looking for a refinance, and even if you already have the approval letter, you must call my man Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. Scott has a brand new program available in the greater Tampa Bay area called the Community Advantage Loan Program. Get this, no money down, no mortgage insurance, no points, no origination fee, purchase or refinance, and loan amounts up to $647,000. Now, there are some application requirements. It must be a single-family home, 1 unit, primary residence, and have a minimum 640 credit score. The program only applies to certain neighborhoods, so you have to call to find out if you qualify. So call Scott Fitzgerald at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Now, even if you don't qualify for that program, Scott will shop your loan around, get you the best rates, and won't charge you the huge upfront fees. And if you've had issues with your bank calling you back, Scott will return calls immediately or at least the same day. 813-294-7595 or email him, scott@amstampa.com. Scott Fitzgerald, MLS 386722, American Mortgage Services, 1000 North Ashley Drive, Suite 1020, Tampa, Florida. JP here for Emerging Investigations, Tampa Bay's premier investigation agency. Do you suspect your spouse is cheating or involved in a divorce, that your spouse is hiding money, an ex-employee or current employee with suspicious behavior? Is there a criminal matter you need help with? If you need information you can count on, using the professionals at Emerging Investigations is a slam dunk. Emerging Investigations is a licensed and insured private investigation agency, family-owned. Emerging is your ideal resource to secure evidence and validation, allowing you to make informed decisions in life's biggest matters. Led by industry executive Brian D'Antonio, Emerging possesses the experience and resources to get needed results. Emerging Investigations maintains an excellent reputation as a premier investigation agency. They are known for results. You're not just hiring a PI, but an organized, dedicated team using state-of-the-art technology. Their proven investigative methods produce crucial information used in criminal cases, insurance fraud, and personal injury claims. Many local attorneys, industry agencies, and your concerned neighbors all count on Emerging Investigations. Just go to their website, emerginginv.com, or call 813-291-FACT. That's 813-291-FACT 3228. Get results you can trust in life's biggest matters. Emerging Investigations.
Coming back at you. Now, more with JP on FanStream Sports. It's only just begun.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by Emerging Investigations. If you have any work that you need to get done, you have questions about your spouse, a missing persons deal, something like that, insurance fraud, they are the ones to get it done. They are a family-owned company, so they can do a lot of things that these bigger corporate investigation companies cannot do. So that opens some things that will help you in finding out what you need to know. And these are life's biggest questions, as we always say on the spot. So don't try to do this yourself by doing snooping on social media and all these other things. You're going to get some bad information and make a bad decision. So let the professionals handle it. Just go to emerginginv.com and they will hook you up. Rachel, in fact, I think I will see her today to be coming in to talk a little bit about what's going on in the investigation world. So we'll look forward to that. And you guys, if you need, and I know it's a weird deal sometimes, you don't know if you should call or not call, just have a conversation with Rachel. She'll pick up the phone, let you know what involved, how much, about what it's going to cost, how it goes down, and you'll feel a lot more comfortable about the situation. So it's a free call. Just give them a call. Go to emerginginv.com, the website, and find out for yourself. All right, so we got a bit of a hockey game tonight as the Boston Bruins are coming to town against the Lightning team. They got a 3-2 win over Nashville this weekend up there as they went up and revisited with their good friend Ryan McDonough. Saw some pictures from the boys on that. Forgot. I got to put my smiling face up there. Start the cam. I didn't get a chance to see the game, watch the highlights of it, but again, this Lightning team is heading in the right direction. Their fourth win in a row. They continue to start playing a more a defensive type game. They're getting back to that level, and when you don't give up 3 goals, guess what? You're probably going to have a chance to win. And they're winning a lot of games in overtime, which is another good sign for me because they did this a lot last year. Whenever they're down, they have the confidence that they're going to come back and win the game. And with their firepower, that seems to happen every time. Stamkos with a one-timer with 2:24 remaining in overtime. The Lightning win 3-2. Alex Killorn scored in the final minute of the third period to send it into overtime. How many times did we see that last year? I mean, when they had the 6-man attacker, I think they scored 6 or 7 goals in that situation last year and usually go on to win the game in overtime. But the bottom line is when you keep it to 2 or 3 or less, 2 or less, you have a great chance to win the game. Yeah,
they're playing with a lot of confidence right now. I think one of the biggest improvements that I've seen, at least over the past 2 weeks here, is you look at the final stats at the end of the game, and they're starting to win the face-off battle
Yes.
against some teams, or at least, playing even. Like, I think it was dead even against Nashville the other night. When the Lightning were scuffling to start the season, I forget which game it was, like the third or fourth game of the season, where they got out faced off like 75-25. It was something crazy like that. So they've taken big steps in that department, and obviously that takes some pressure off your defense, but it's all about the stars for me. And, goals come in bunches, and Stamkos went 10 goals without scoring, and now he's back on the goal scoring streak. I think he scored in his last 3 games now as he's bulldozing towards 500 goals for his career, which is incredible. But yeah, and this is the one here from overtime, which once the Lightning got it to a power play in overtime on a 4-3 scenario, good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Too much open ice.
Granlund and Stamkos on the face-off, won by Stamkos. Kucherov controls it center point. Left circle Stamkos. Right circle Kucherov. Shoots. Blocked. Rebound tracked by Braden Point. Left circle. Center point Stamkos. Right circle to Kucherov. Center point Stamkos. Shoots. Score! Stamkos! Power play goal in overtime. The Lightning win it 3-2.
Yeah, he was just not going to be denied on that deal.
No.
He had a slap shot right before then, kind of from more closer to his office. And then he went out front in the high slot and just saw some open net and blasted it in there. He still has one of the most elite shots in the game. And in a situation like that, if he sees a little bit of open net, he's going to hit it time and time again. We can go backwards and listen to all the goals.
Yeah, let's go to the Kucherov one, because that was also a brilliant play by a world-class player. And again, on the power play, 2 goals on the power play in this game.
Behind the net. Braden Point accelerates. They'll rush it up the middle at center. Now a drop past Kucherov. Kucherov, nice move across the blue line. High slot! Score! Kucherov from the slot! Well, finally, they take a shot that beats Saros up high over the stick. Power play goal, Kucherov to tie the game at 1. Sergachev on an errant drop feed will actually get the second assist on that goal. Point carried it to center ice, dropped it for Kucherov, and he did the rest. Boy.
That's a play there you just don't see often on a power play. I mean, kind of weaving in through like that, and you're not expecting Kucherov to shoot. I don't think Saros was either.
No.
But again, it shows you when you have a shot like that, just take it more. Yeah. Just take it more. If they're inviting you to come in, just shoot. You got a great shot, and that's what happened there.
And we're seeing that because teams are so locked into keeping the Bolts out of the zone. Like, that's how you foil the Lightning's power play. You don't let them take it in the zone. So they're taking chances at the blue line. And when you do that, oftentimes you can weave your way in. You're leaving yourself open in the back end. And that's what happened there. And so once you get it into the zone, especially if they've got everybody crowded up near the blue line, you've got some open space. And so that's the answer to teams trying to stop you from entering the zone. So now their answer is, okay, we'll use our skating ability, skate it right past you, get in and take a shot.
Yep. And now obviously, Boston comes in tonight.
Let's listen to the Kaloran goal. So it's 2-1 late in the game. And again, the Lightning it created some great chances. Saros was really, really good. By the way, were they having church in that building in Nashville?
It was dead.
My God,
it was dead. And then I
actually pin drop.
I actually said at the case when we were watching the game the other night, they showed Broadway, and it was like 9:00, and there was like nobody walking. And I'm like, why is it so dead right now?
It's freaking cold.
And she was like, well, it's really cold out. I'm like, okay, well, it was really cold when we were there.
Yeah.
And I know there was a big event going on, but it didn't seem to stop anybody from being out that night. So why was it so dead? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, the building was full, but man, they were sitting on their hands big time.
Yeah, but here was a Kaloran goal.
They're 1 for 5 tonight. Kucherov wins it. Right circle Paul. Paul rams it right corner looking for Kucherov. Nikita Kucherov bobbles it right point Ian Cole. Shoot, score! Big goal! Ian Cole!
A lot of Lightning fans there as well.
In front. Kaloran might have been the one to tip it. Yes, sir. It's 2-2 with 3:21 left.
How about that? Nashville's becoming kind of, a destination city like Vegas, Nash Vegas, right? So a lot of these teams that are coming in here bring a lot of their fans. And obviously Lightning fans had so much fun in Nashville last year. Like, hey, let's go inside the arena this time. And clearly there was a lot of Lightning fans there. A lot of them made the trip also because there was a Gator game
same day. So the Gators played in the morning, and then you had the Lightning that night. So a lot of
I can't think of a
lot
better
of fans going 1-1.
I can't think of a much better road trip than that one.
That's a good one.
Similar to the
Pittsburgh,
the Pittsburgh double and double earlier this year.
Yeah, absolutely. So and I think they do that on purpose, believe it or not. So yeah, that was again. So now they've won 4 in a row. Boston was just off to a ridiculously hot start. And now they come in here for a little early season showdown.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I was going to bring up Boston. 16-2 is Boston. Just an absolute powerhouse right now. And listen to these scores, by the way. Let me just give you all of Boston's wins in November. Listen to these scores: 5-2, 3-1, 3-1, 3-1, 5-2, 4-1, 6-1. Do you find the theme there?
Yeah, they're crushing people.
And they only give up a goal every game. That's it. You get 1 on them. And you give up 4 or 5 usually more often than not.
Their differential right now is plus 38.
That's insane. 18
plus
games into
38.
a season.
18 games into the season. Comparatively speaking, the Bolts are 11-6-1, which is a great record. And they've won 4 in a row. They're plus 5.
Yep.
They're plus 5. Toronto is plus 6. New Jersey, who's off to a 15-3 start, is plus 26. They're still markedly, almost 30% more than that. That's remarkable. Plus 26 is remarkable. And at 15-3, you're plus 30. I mean, that's ridiculous. You go to the Western Conference, Dallas, a team that the Lightning just beat, plus 22. Colorado, plus 18, the defending champions. Vegas is plus 21. I mean, they're so far and away above everybody else. This is dominant. And remember, in the offseason, they totally transformed their team.
Yeah. Yeah, they fired Bruce Cassidy.
Everybody's like, what are you doing?
One of the best coaches in the NHL. He goes to Vegas. They bring him Jim Montgomery, who I believe was ousted from Dallas because of there was an issue with the players. I think a discipline thing that he was fired for. But he comes here to Boston, and clearly a new voice in the dressing room was what was needed. We talk so much about what McDavid's doing and what Draisaitl's doing. David Pasternak's right on their heels right now in regards to goals and points. He's been an absolute machine for Boston. So I think this is a game we're going to see how good are the Lightning. Can they match up to Boston at this point in the season? We're going to have to find out.
And this will bring out the best in the Lightning.
Yes, and I bring out the best in the crowd, bring out the best in the Lightning. But 16-2 through 18 games. I mean, this is right now they have to be ahead of the Lightning right now in that historic 2018-19 season the Lightning had. They've got to be just on par with that at the moment.
Yeah. But the goal differential is just through the roof.
It is.
That's crazy. And the way they're beating teams. So, litmus test tonight. No question about it as the Bruins come in. What do we got? 7 o'clock puck drop, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
Yeah, 7 o'clock puck drop. Hopefully it's on Bally's tonight so everybody or most everybody can watch it. That's a good thing. All right, we're going to take before we take it, we can go a little bit longer here because we got Jeff Antonella is going to join us, by the way, MLS goalie. Longtime local superstar, played at USF as well. And we're going to talk some World Cup as the United States men's national team will square off against Wales today and Gareth Bale. And that team, as England has absolutely destroyed Iran today. Do we have a final on that one?
Yeah, we got a final 6-2. England takes down Iran.
So a +4 goal differential. Explain to people why that's important.
That is important because if there is a tie, let's say for the second or third place team, it's decided on goal differential, which is just like hockey, whatever how many goals you scored to compare to how many you give up. Pretty simple stuff, but it's very important. England has obviously a big jump start on that now. Yeah,
and whoever's going to advance from the group, the second team now, you could lose 2 games, right? If they all lose 2 games, is that possible? Or somebody has to be, anything. I guess anything's possible in the round robin, but that will help the U.S. if they lose to England by a less margin.
Yeah, and
they should.
And I'd probably say
beaten by 4.
Yeah, they're not going to be. You'd think they're not going to get beaten by 4 against England, but no, England's a top 5 team in the country in the world.
Yeah.
So they very well are going to win the group, more likely than not, barring something crazy. But the good thing for the U.S. is you get the game against Wales, you steal that. You get England as the second game. I like that because you don't want to have to play England in a third game where you might have to be playing for your lives or something, and then you have to like maybe win against England or you have to draw against England. I like that they get that in the second game, and you get Iran in the last one, which right now looks like the weakest team in the group.
Yeah. All right, so we will take a break right now, and Jeff Antonelli is going to join us. We're going to talk some World Cup, and we'll be back in the 11 o'clock hour. Brian Bradley is going to join us at 11:30 to talk about tonight's Bolts Bruins showdown, and we'll get some more college football and NFL talk at 11:15 as we'll go through the league yesterday, and we'll tell you why the Bucs are in even better shape, I think. But still a lot of question marks. What do they do in the off week? So we'll get to all that when we come back. Stay with us. Was your car totaled in an accident? Did your insurance company use Kelley Blue Book or NADA to appraise the value of your car? Chances are they didn't, and you got shorted maybe thousands of dollars. Call the Jeeves Law Group for a free case evaluation because your insurance company may still owe you money. 727-894-2929. It's a free call, so why not find out if you have a case? Insurance companies have been running this scam for a while, and most folks don't know if they've been shorted. Trust me. Scott Jeeves is a different kind of attorney, the kind insurance companies hate to go up against. He could recover thousands of dollars, so why not call? 727-894-2929 or go to lawgroup.com. That's JEEVES lawgroup.com and tell them JP sent you.
JP here for Emerging Investigations, Tampa Bay's premier investigation agency. Do you suspect your spouse is cheating or involved in a divorce, that your spouse is hiding money, an ex-employee or current employee with suspicious behavior? Is there a criminal matter you need help with? If you need information you can count on, using the professionals at Emerging Investigations is a slam dunk. Emerging Investigations is a licensed and insured private investigation agency, family-owned. Emerging is your ideal resource to secure evidence and validation, allowing you to make informed decisions in life's biggest matters. Led by industry executive Brian D'Antonio, Emerging possesses the experience and resources to get needed results. Emerging Investigations maintains an excellent reputation as a premier investigation agency. They are known for results. You're not just hiring a PI, but an organized, dedicated team using state-of-the-art technology. Their proven investigative methods produce crucial information used in criminal cases, insurance fraud, and personal injury claims. Many local attorneys, industry agencies, and your concerned neighbors all count on Emerging Investigations. Just go to their website, emerginginv.com, or call 813-291-FACT. That's 813-291-FACT-3228. Get results you can trust in life's biggest matters. Emerging Investigations.
It's that time of the year to renew or shop your health insurance provider, and you can get great health insurance for $20, $30, $50 a month. Just call 844-310-9961 to help navigate the health insurance marketplace. 1 out of 3 people in Florida are uncovered because they think they can't afford it. It's not true. I made the call a couple of years ago, and they helped me get Blue Cross Blue Shield coverage, Florida Blue, for just $20 a month. Last year, it went up to $49. Are you kidding me? It all depends on your income and family situation. It's a free call, 844-310-9961. They will
business insurance, then called Italiano to shop it around, and they saved him $26,000 a year. Yeah. So call 813-877-7799 or go to ItalianoInsurance.com. Italiano Insurance, protecting all the pieces of your life for over 60 years. Attention, if you are home shopping or looking for a refinance, and even if you already have the approval letter, you must call my man Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. Scott has a brand new program available in the greater Tampa Bay area called the Community Advantage Loan Program. Get this, no money down, no mortgage insurance, no points, no origination fee, purchase or refinance, and loan amounts up to $647,000. Now, there are some application requirements. It must be a single-family home, 1 unit, primary residence, and have a minimum 640 credit score. The program only applies to certain neighborhoods, so you have to call to find out if you qualify. So call Scott Fitzgerald at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Now, even if you don't qualify for that program, Scott will shop your loan around, get you the best rates, and won't charge you the huge upfront fees. And if you've had issues with your bank calling you back, Scott will return calls immediately or at least the same day. 813-294-7595 or email him, scott@amstampa.com. Scott Fitzgerald, MLS 386722, American Mortgage Services, 1000 North Ashley Drive, Suite 1020, Tampa, Florida.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's rock.
This is FanStream Sports with JP.
All right, welcome into the 11 o'clock hour of the JP Peterson Show here, brought to you by BAMMC.com, Bay Area Modern Medical Center, and the Jeeves Law Group. Also, it's time to renew your health insurance, folks, at the end of the year. Check your health plan. And if you don't have insurance, that's just silly, folks. You can get it for $20, $30, $50 a month, and I'm talking about great insurance from the healthcare marketplace. Just call 844-310-9961. This is a provider that will help you through the health plan marketplace, healthcare marketplace websites. You don't want to try and do that on your own, folks. They can do it for you at no cost and get you a great plan. These providers are out there to help you through this myriad of different things you have to do on the website. So why do it yourself when they can do it for you? So call 844-310-9961. It doesn't cost you any money. They get paid when they get your health insurance in place. So why not take advantage of this? 1 in 3 people in Florida, I know this, are uncovered because they think they can't afford health insurance, or they don't want to go onto the website and find out what their subsidy will be. I've been doing this for, I think, 3 years now. I've got Blue Cross Blue Shield Florida Blue coverage, which is absolutely phenomenal. And I'm paying $49 a month. So you can do it too. It's a free call, 844-310-9961, 844-310-9961. Just give them a call. If you have your tax returns available, that's better, but just know what your income is, how many dependents you have, those basic questions. They'll be able to take care of it for you. So why not do it? Find out. And even if you have a plan at your employer, you might be able to pay less. That's right. You might be able to pay less depending on how much you make. So why not just find out, right? 844-310-9961. All right. We want to bring in our good friend, Jeff Attinella, former MLS goalkeeper, now retired, now a brand manager for Smack Apparel, and loves to talk about soccer and the World Cup and all things football. What's up, Jeff? How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you doing?
Excellent. Excellent. Well, I looked at your Twitter feed. You're very excited about this game today. I mean,
as we all should be.
As we all should be. It's kind of snuck up on us, though. This middle of the football season World Cup, I'm not digging. I mean, I've got other interests. I got stuff I got Bucks to follow. I got Seminoles to follow. This is kind of weird for me. I got to admit it.
I know. And I think it's been weird for a lot of the media out there because there's so much. I mean, I'm experiencing it with Smack. It kind of snuck up on me too, and I'm someone that's pretty invested in it.
Right.
But there's so many other sports going on, especially the week of Thanksgiving for the World Cup to be kicking off. It's a weird time. It's a little bit different. They don't get the full build up of America's attention like they usually do when they play in the summer. But it is what it is. The World Cup's starting for the U.S. today, and as somebody who obviously played soccer and has fell in love with the game by watching World Cups, it's something that I've been trying to remind people and keep on their timelines because when the U.S. is in it and the U.S. Anytime they get the chance to take on the rest of the world and pretty much anything, it's always a fun thing to follow and a fun thing to get behind. And, I didn't want it to get lost in the shuffle of the college football and the NFL out there going on right now.
Well, you could probably explain to us laymen in terms of world football how the hell we got to Qatar. I mean, I know it was a completely corrupt process, and there's so many issues with it, including the date that we have to play because it's too freaking hot there in the summer. I mean, a lot of people might be going, "What are we doing there? Like, what the hell happened?" Well, can you explain that in like a minute?
I mean, I probably can't explain all the ins and outs of it because I'm sure, like you said, there were a lot of things that went on behind the closed doors. But this was something that happened, when they did the World Cup draw and Qatar won. It was a lot of logistical things that they needed to figure out. And, it was supposed to be in the summer. Then they realized it was too hot, and these state-of-the-art stadiums where they were going to pump in air conditioning weren't going to work out. So they moved things to the winter. I mean, once they announced that Qatar was hosting, they had to adjust and do these different types of things. And there's a pretty good documentary on Netflix right now about how, FIFA comes to some of these decisions, but it's just kind of one of those things where it is what it is. And, I think next go around when the U.S., Mexico, and Canada are hosting it, it'll be a little bit more back to what we're used to. But for now, it's a nice treat on a Monday afternoon that we get to watch the U.S. take on Wales in a World Cup game.
All right, well, forget all the politics and all that stupid stuff, and let's talk about this U.S. men's national team. We got a lot of good young players. I know that much. Christian Pulisic is the guy that everybody's talking about, but he's not the only one. You've got a lot of guys that are playing in Europe now. It's where it used to be, pretty much a strictly MLS team. How much better is this U.S. men's team, and can they make any noise at all here?
Yeah, I mean, we're good. This has like been not to get too in depth into the soccer talk, but it's been like a complete philosophical change of the way U.S. soccer goes about their business. And this is really like the first wave that you're going to see. So Christian Pulisic, he's actually probably the oldest statesman of this team. He's the name that's been out there a lot. He's the name that really made the first jump to Europe. But if you look at the roster, I mean, our entire roster is just loaded with guys that play in England, some play in Spain, some play in Germany. So we have guys pretty much all over, and this is really the first time that the U.S. has had a lineup like this that's used to playing in these bigger leagues around the world. And, we're the youngest team. We're the youngest team at the tournament. So, it's a lot of young guys, and a lot of the things coming out of camp are, that they're young, but they're confident, because this is something that this group has been building towards ever since they all started going to Europe. And, they started to realize that they were playing against some of the best players in the world on a week in and week out basis, which for the U.S. is very different. And if you're not used to watching U.S. soccer, and, if the last time you watched them was the World Cup, a lot of times you would used to see, a team that wanted to play really good defense. They wanted to be really physical, and they kind of wanted to catch teams on the counterattack. But this team is going to be kind of the complete opposite. We're going to try to play. We're going to try to possess the ball, and we're going to try to play more, quote unquote, the beautiful game that they play around the world. So this is really the first time that you're going to see that out of a U.S. group. And, this whole process has really just been years in the making of bringing guys back from England after they went out. A lot of these guys didn't even go to college. They just left high school and went straight over, across seas and started playing professionally right away. So I think we have a good chance to advance today's game. I know a lot of people probably think Wales is a small country that, we should be able to beat pretty easily, but they have a lot of guys that play in the English Premier League. And, it's obviously a country that devotes all of their attention to soccer, which, we don't really do here. But so it should be a good matchup. But this game's super important because obviously you don't want to have to play England and need a win. So today would be a huge result for the U.S. if they can get it. And, if we're able to get 3 points out of today's game, then I really like our chances to advance out of the group.
Yeah, and you mentioned the youth nature of the squad, and in some of the old teams, like Landon Donovan, the Clint Dempseys, the guys who played up front were always grabbing headlines. But I think it's the midfield this time, and the midfield trio of Tyler Adams and Yunus Musa and Weston McKennie, who obviously all three play at high level clubs in Europe. Just talk a little bit about the importance of getting those guys going here in this World Cup.
Yeah, I mean, the midfield is a good point because the midfield is super important because, like I said, usually when you're playing more defensive like they used to, you can kind of skip over the midfield, or the midfield would be more there to defend. But now, the team's kind of the run of play is going to go through the midfield. They're going to really dictate the way, that this team's going to look. And, we have guys in the midfield that are playing on the biggest tournaments and in the biggest scale in the world this year. So it'll be a very different look for us. But, if they're able to control the game and kind of possess the ball and kind of dictate the way that the game is played and the flow of the game, then I really like our chances. And it's and you're naming guys that, like I said, these guys are playing for the biggest clubs in the world. So I'm sure that the magnitude of the World Cup will kind of hit them a little bit at first, but I fully expect them to settle in and feel pretty comfortable in this environment because it's something that they're used to.
Jeff Attanella joining us here, former USF goalie and Portland Timbers goalie in the MLS, talking about today's game. Let's talk goalkeeper. Tell me, I have no idea who the U.S. goalkeeper is. Tell me about him.
Oh, you'll love him. He's the best story. So his name is Matt Turner. He's going to be the starting goalie. He's a great human being. And he didn't start playing soccer until he was 16 because he wanted to stay in shape. He started playing soccer because he wanted to stay in shape for the other sports that he was playing. Oh. And then once he got in goal at 16, he kind of realized, he was making tons of saves and he was just playing for his high school team. And he kind of started to realize that he really loved it. And then he was actually really good at it. So then he went to the small school, didn't get drafted out of there, but had a good college career. Got an open tryout to the New England Revolution. And then from the New England Revolution, he just kind of won the starting job, became one of the best goalkeepers in Major League Soccer, and then got on the national team picture. Once he was on the national team picture, just this last year, he got moved over to Arsenal in England. And now, he's a extremely good shot stopper. He's a very confident guy, tall, lanky, very good on crosses. He's fun because, he has that little bit of American flavor where a lot of guys would kick the ball out. He'll throw the ball 60 yards, a little bit like a quarterback. So he's a cool story because he's someone that really got started late in the game, and he's very relatable to a lot of America and just, the way that a lot of other people in this country focused on other sports. He was kind of the same way, and he just fell in love with soccer at an older age, and he's somebody that continues to develop, and now he's doing it for one of the biggest clubs in the world. And I'm excited for him. He's a good guy, and he gets a chance to kind of showcase his skills and everything he's been able to accomplish in such a short time. To think, he didn't even play soccer until he was 16 years old. To think that he's now the best goalie that our country has, and he's a fun story, good guy, and a good person to get behind. So he'll have to be making a lot of saves for us to advance. But he's a good goalie, so I fully expect him to be able to do that.
Yeah, and it shows a lot of the confidence that Greg Berhalter and the coaching staff has in him because, there was always the debate, was it going to be him or was it going to be, a Zach Steffen? And Steffen doesn't even make the roster. So that tells you right there, right away, they had the confidence in him. But with that being said, you mentioned playing at Arsenal and obviously the backup to Aaron Ramsdale, who's over in England, hasn't played probably a lot this cycle here, the season, obviously the timing of this. Is there any concern there for a goalkeeper when you go a long time maybe without getting some game action to jump right in, and it's the World Cup here?
Yeah, for some guys I would say yes, but for him, no, to be honest, just because he's somebody that, whenever he's gotten his opportunity, he's always just made the most of it. He wasn't the starter at New England, and once he got his opportunity, he didn't lose his job, and he never gave it up. And you only do that by playing well and, pretty much playing well every game. In the games that he has played for Arsenal, he's looked really sharp. He's looked very dialed in, and he's looked kind of up to the task of, making that move and jumping in and playing when he had to. So for me with Turner, I don't feel that way. But if it was somebody else who you could tell needs to be in more of a game rhythm and kind of be feeling that flow to get his confidence up, then I would be a little bit more worried. But with him, man, he's just the fact that he's been the underdog the whole time, and it seems like every time he gets to play, it's kind of in a situation where he hasn't been playing a lot, and then they put him in, and he ends up being the best player on the field. So I feel confident about it. I feel confident for him, and I fully expect him to be able to live up to the moment.
And speaking to this game in particular against Wales today, this is obviously a really big game for them as well. I think this is their first World Cup since 1958, if I'm correct there. And I think the player that everybody recognizes is a Gareth Bale, who obviously came to MLS. We just saw him 2 weeks ago, the dramatic moment there with LAFC in the MLS Cup final. So clearly there's still some juice to him. But just in general, though, what kind of challenges do you see Wales presenting to the U.S.? Where's their strength point, in your opinion?
I mean, just that they're all around. They have a lot of veteran guys that, like I said, kind of similar to the U.S., but they've been doing it a lot longer, that play at the highest level. You have guys that I think Greg Berhalter said that you look at their lineup and it just resembles an English Premier League team. So, just the fact that they have a lot of guys that are consistently playing at that level and have probably been doing it their entire lives. That, like you said, I mean, they haven't been. It's a country that prides itself on soccer, and the fact that they haven't been in the World Cup in 50+ years. It's I'm sure that it's something that they're all trying to make sure that they get their run at it and that it goes well. So for me, it's just kind of like the whole package of the fact that they're a veteran group, the fact that they have players that play at the highest level. And like you said, they're representing a country that hasn't done this for a long time, and it means a lot to them. So that kind of fight, I think that both teams understand that this game is probably the most important game that they're going to have in the group, because whoever, if you're able to get the edge in this game, if you're able to get a win in this game, then, based off of who they're playing, England obviously looks good. You don't want to have to need a result versus them. And it kind of looks like Iran will be everybody's chance to, get 3 points. So, I mean, it's just both clubs have so much to play for. So,
it comes down to this one, right off the bat.
Yeah, it's right off the bat. And this is for these two teams. It's very much the most important game of the group. So, So for both these teams to be dealing with this game one, they've only been in Qatar for 2 weeks. It's a big one, so it should be fun.
High intensity indeed. I mean, this is going to be basically to move on to the next round for two teams that, very, very much are motivated to do so. And certainly the World Cup organizers would love to see, no offense to Wales, but they would love to see the U.S. to advance to the next round. We didn't really mention, we talked about Pulisic, but as you talked about the midfielders, talk about the strikers as well, the guys up front that are going to hopefully get the job done for the U.S.
Yeah, for me, I mean, Gio Reyna being healthy is a huge thing. He's somebody that I don't know if people would recognize his dad's name, Claudio Reyna. He played, he was on the World Cup team back in the day, and he was a big focal point of it. And, now Gio Reyna's here. I'm pretty sure he's only 18 years old, but when he's healthy and he's finally healthy, it changes the dynamic of the U.S. team. He's kind of one of those guys that's a complete difference maker out there. And he hasn't been healthy the entire World Cup qualifying run. He wasn't healthy for most of it. But, the times that he did play, you could tell that he could make a big impact. And we have a guy named Josh Sargent, who he plays over in England as well. I fully expect him. He's kind of like the battering ram type guy. I fully expect him to kind of put his head down and, one of those guys that would run through a wall if you needed him to. So between those two guys, I'm pretty hopeful that they'll be able to piece together some goals. And, it's going to be something that we need. We have a couple of guys from the MLS as well that can come on, in the late minutes if we're chasing a goal and you need people to come out there and work hard and just kind of make things a little bit ugly. But, for me, if Gio Reyna's healthy and he's able to stay on the field for a big chunk of games, I fully expect people to know his name by the end of the tournament.
All right, last question. The social aspect of this. I know you guys over at Smack Apparel probably got some great shirts and best places to watch World Cup today. You probably know all the great soccer bars. I'm talking about, give me something in downtown St. Pete, something in Clearwater, Tampa. You know the places better than I, and you chime in here as well, both of you guys. Where if somebody's out there listening, I want to go party, because you got to watch soccer with friends, right? You got to be in a big group. I think it's one of the great bar watching sports, World Cup. So give me some good ones.
No, absolutely. I mean, pretty much. So whenever I watch soccer down here at a bar, I go to anything that ends with Irish pub. Or, I'm a huge McDitton's guy. I know, yeah. I'm not sure if the one in St. Pete is still up, but the one in St. Pete is always a good time, especially the one in Tampa. That one always gets a little bit rowdy. That's where I'll be on Friday. And then, I know that the Rowdies are hosting. I'm not sure the exact location. I'm pretty sure it's at a park over in St. Pete, but they're hosting a few big watch parties as well. But pretty much anything with Irish pub in the title, you can't go wrong when there's soccer on.
Your local pub will be just fine. All right, Jeff, great stuff. Really appreciate your time as always. You can find Jeff. I'm sure he'll be tweeting during the match today at Jeff _Antonella. That's ATTINELLA1. Jeff _Antonella 1. So follow him, and I'm sure there'll be some great commentary coming from you during the match today. Or will you not be on Twitter? I don't know how you do it. Maybe you just want to be into the game.
So for me, whenever I do that, it's just all about an emotional moment. That's usually how I
You got to spew. Yes, I know.
So it's I'll either get emotionally worked up or I'll just be emotionally celebrating and not even care that my phone exists. So it's always, I never know with me. I never know going into it either.
Hit or miss. Follow him anyway. He's a great follow on all sports. So thanks, Jeff. Appreciate your time, man. We'll talk to you maybe on Friday.
Appreciate it, guys. USA. Yep. Let's go.
All right. Beautiful. It's going to be fun today. I kind of didn't even put that into my calendar as to watch, but got work to do today, so I'm definitely going to be watching while I'm working.
I was going to say, what else do you have to watch at 2:00 on a Monday?
Nothing.
Nothing
else to watch, but plus I want to kind of go somewhere, but you do that, then you're starting to drink beer, and I got a big hockey game tonight. So I
will say I'd much rather watch it if it was like a nighttime than like a daytime on a Monday. It doesn't really hit the same.
Yeah.
Going to a bar. But that's a good point though. An Irish pub, anything like an O'Brien's, I think is in Brant. It's more my neck of the woods would be a good one.
Yep.
I know you're probably more familiar with the places
Shamrock
out here
down in Riverview.
Oh yeah, that's in Palo. Yeah.
Yeah, Palo Beach. Yeah. Sean Rice, my friend down there. I'm sure we'll have an outdoor screen.
That is a good one because I believe on Saturday and Sunday mornings they open up a little earlier and they do Premier League mornings for all the soccer fans in the area.
Yeah, so that's a great one down there. Up in North Tampa, I'm trying to think. There's a German pub up there that probably will be doing Dundernick's or something. They'll probably be doing something, and a bunch of good Irish pubs up there. And yeah, that's probably McDitton's in South Tampa. I know is going to be going off. Probably Bar Howard right across as well. So yeah, go out and enjoy. Get your gear on. And go out and enjoy some USA soccer today. It is a great point. I mean, this is the game that's going to decide whether they go through or not, unless they shock England or get a draw with England, which is going to be, given what we saw today from them, defeating Iran 6-2, going to be tough. This is it.
It is. But I tell you what, the importance of having all these players that play over in Europe and are playing Champions League soccer, and they're playing against these guys. I mean, Christian Pulisic has teammates who are on England's national team that he trains with every single day. The same thing goes for Giovanni Reina, who he just mentioned at Borussia Dortmund. So again, these guys are more battle tested than you think in these kind of big games. Maybe not a World Cup.
It's a different level.
Definitely a different level, but I mean, they have a lot of talent. I think that's the one thing for people that are just kind of casually popping in for this World Cup. This is the most talented U.S. team that we've ever had.
And I think Jeff's point was a really good one about the style of play. We've always been, and I was, for casual fans, maybe you can help me with this analogy, but the U.S. has always kind of been an Air Force, Navy type of team. They have to play defense and run the football.
Counterattacking.
Archaic, right?
Yeah.
More archaic than the beautiful free-flowing game. So we would always fall back and play defense, try to avoid a goal, and then
you counterattack.
The counterattack with a long ball, and
you get speed on the wing.
Get speed on the wing, which is a long shot.
It's not a sustainable way to play.
Exactly. It's not a sustainable.
And it puts a lot of pressure on your defense. And I think if there's one weak point, by the way, in this U.S. team, it's in their defense. It is definitely in their defense. That's probably the weakest part. They have a lot of really good midfielders. They're loaded up front, but the defense is the one question mark, especially at center back, because they're going to have an all MLS pairing, and not to poo-poo on the MLS or anything. It's just a lot different of a level. So that's one concern. But yeah, because the U.S. has so much talent in the attacking and the midfield, they have more confidence now to go forward. And Greg Berhalter has brought that kind of style of play to the U.S. where we're like, okay, we're not going to sit back. We're going to flex our muscles and go forward. And that's the difference of why the U.S. is in a much better spot to do things in this World Cup than they have been in others.
And that's interesting but now we're at least trying. At least we're trying to get on level with everybody else and play that style of soccer that's going to win something.
Yes.
And, and we've always said, like, if one day our athletes catch up to the rest of the world, then we're going to be a formidable squad.
You would think a country, and
the women have shown that.
Yes, and I think I said this back in 2018 when they did not qualify. You're a country of 340 billion people. Million people. Can you find me 11 guys?
Soon billion.
Yeah, probably. But it's like, can you find me 11 guys who can play the game the right way?
Right.
Because at that time, Iceland was like the talk of the tournament, and we're like, how the hell does Iceland do it? How does Costa Rica do it? And some of these other teams, how did they find 11 guys, but this country can't? And I keep going back to the importance of playing European football. Go watch a MLS match and go watch a European match.
With all due respect, that's why I don't watch MLS.
You'll notice
it's like watching
AAA
baseball.
It's the ball's always in the air. Everybody's just kicking it up, and there's no flow to the game.
Right.
It's just, there's not a lot of passing. If you watch a European game, it's the way they teach the game. It's completely different. And that's why you see this American team as a much better version.
Well, that's good. That's exciting to hear, and I haven't paid enough attention to it this go round. And so I'm really looking forward to watching it through that lens, because I always remember watching it just going, this is the only offense we have is the goalie kicks it down and hopefully one of our guys wins it and makes a run. And that was it. There was no build up. It was frustrating to watch. So now hopefully, we're actually trying to play the game the right way. And we've got players over in Europe that are doing that. So this seems like, it's been 8 years since we've been in the World Cup. I'm missing the World Cup the last time was a huge setback for United States soccer. So here we are again, and with a good shot. But, the fact that it all comes down to today, we have to understand that, because people just think, oh, we got 3 games. We're good. If we lose this one, no big deal. No, folks, this is the game. They got to win this game.
If you lose this game, like I said, then you get England in the second match. And I hate to break it to you, but the chances of you beating England are just, they're not there. They're not high right now. So, and then if you have 0 points going to the final game, it's not where you want to be.
Yeah.
It's not where you want to be.
Yeah. Yeah. There's going to be no way to, then basically Iran would have to beat Wales or get a draw.
Yeah, and I think Iran's a lot better than what they showed today. They just kind of look like they just had a demoralized. I mean, their goalkeeper got hurt within the first 10 minutes, and they had to swap goalkeepers out. And
that's going to be an issue.
They just looked completely overmatched.
Yeah. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back on the other side, talk a little NFL football from yesterday. Some very, very interesting storylines, like what the hell happened to the Vikings, and are the Cowboys that good? And as much as I love the way the Chiefs beat the Chargers, it was the Chargers. The Chiefs, I think, are the best team in the AFC, but maybe not. Maybe not. So lots to talk about in the NFL. We are brought to you by Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Chris Lugo was on with us a couple weeks ago talking about testosterone replacement therapy. Guys, there's a 95% chance that your testosterone is low because of the diet in America, the stress, everything else. It's a fact. So get your T checked, and if it's low, you need to take action. You need to take action, and no better place than Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. All right, back at 3 to talk some NFL. Stay with us.
Now is the time to make sure your home insurance is in order. In the last year, many of us have made improvements to our homes, so call the folks at Italiano and discuss these upgrades to make sure you have enough coverage. According to a recent report, almost 64% of homeowners don't have enough insurance on their home, which is their most valuable asset. Also, a great time to make sure you have flood insurance. Even if your mortgage company does not require flood insurance, your home could still be at flood risk. Another big item as we enter hurricane season is making sure your pool enclosure is added to your policy and there will be no issue at claim time. That happens a lot. So call your friendly agent at Italiano Insurance to review your policies today. 813-877-7799 or ItalianoInsurance.com.
Hey guys, Serena Fazan here for the Gold and Diamond Source. Are you looking for the hottest trends in men's jewelry? Ladies love to see men spice it up with something cool from the Gold and Diamond Source. Whether you're looking for a gold chain, fashion rings, even a pre-owned Rolex watch, or thinking about getting engaged, there's only one place to go. Go see my friends, Julie and Steve Weintraub at the Gold and Diamond Source for your one-stop jewelry supercenter. It's never been more important to shop local and support the businesses that support our amazing Tampa Bay community. None better than the great folks at the Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Ulmerton Road, or online at goldendiamond.com.
Are you concerned your spouse might be cheating or want to locate a long-lost relative or love? Or a missing person and the police are not helping? An insurance adjuster who needs proof of injury. Hi, I'm Rachel D'Antonio from Tampa Bay's premier private investigation agency, Emerging Investigation. We have a proven track record of results. Local attorneys and insurance companies hire us to discover insurance fraud and crucial information in criminal cases. We can help in custody matters, and we devote a tremendous state-of-the-art technology and cutting-edge industry surveillance techniques to get you trusted results. Larger corporate agencies can be more expensive and do not offer the personal level of customer service and interaction that we pride ourselves on. We are a family-owned business. Our professional experience team includes my son, lead investigator Zach D'Antonio, a former collegiate athlete, and my daughter Emily, who leads our in-house investigations team. Don't take matters into your own hands by trying to install snooping programs on phones or GPS trackers. That can cause unneeded stress and give you inaccurate results. Go with the professionals at Emerging Investigations. We have proven results and tremendous testimonials from our satisfied customers. Call for a free consultation and we can discuss how we can help. Peace of mind is as valuable as bad news. Just go to our website, emerginginv.com, or call 813-291-FACT. That's emerginginv.com. We're Emerging Investigations. We get results in life's biggest matters.
Guys, let me tell you about Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Are you experiencing low sex drive, fatigue, hot flashes, moodiness, and you just don't feel like you have the vitality you once had? You're not just getting old, it's likely low testosterone. Studies over the last 20 years show a shocking decline in younger males aged 16 to 39. Older men have seen a sharp decline as well. Do something about it. Go see my friend Christopher Lugo at Bay Area Modern Medicine. Testosterone replacement is not a frivolous treatment. It takes a professional, targeted approach that focuses on total body wellness, vitality, and emotional stability. Not a one-size-fits-all approach like many clinics use. They will monitor your blood work and adjust your treatment as needed for optimal results. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling.
Was your car totaled? $9.61 to help navigate the health insurance marketplace. 1 out of 3 people in Florida are uncovered because they think they can't afford it. It's not true. I made the call a couple of years ago, and they helped me get Blue Cross Blue Shield coverage, Florida Blue, for just $20 a month. Last year, it went up to $49. Are you kidding me? It all depends on your income and family situation. It's a free call, 844-310-9961. They will ask for some income information, and the highly trained reps will do the work to find out what your subsidy will be. 844-310-9961. And if you have a plan through your employer, you may be able to get it cheaper here. It's a free call, folks, and this has been a lifesaver for me and saved me thousands of dollars over the last few years. And you could choose your plan. That's 844-310-9961. Get covered like me and thousands of others and save thousands. 844-310-9961.
Pure Sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by Bay Area Modern Medical Center and the Jeeves Law Group. If you had your car totaled and didn't get the amount of money you thought you should have gotten from your insurance company, which happens a lot, you'll probably have a case, and you can find out for free. Just give the Jeeves Law Group a call and say, hey, I got my car totaled last year, whatever, and tell them a little bit about your situation, and they'll probably be able to tell you whether you have a case or not. And the insurance company has to pay your fees, so that's a great way to go about it. Get the free consultation, find out if you have a case, and all you got to do is call the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. Tell them JP sent you and find out if you have a case. And if you get injured in an accident or get in an auto accident, make sure you have an attorney. None better than the Jeeves Law Group. Insurance companies hate it when you're represented by them because they know they are going to get a fight on everything. So that's how they do it over there. Let them be an advocate for you at the Jeeves Law Group. All right, let's talk to our fighter, Brian Bradley, the Lightning's first all-star and leading scorer in those early days, who I watch most of the games with at Amalie Arena, and I'll be watching with him tonight against Boston. The mighty Bruins come in tonight, Bradley. This is going to be one hell of a showdown. How you doing?
Yeah, it's going to be a good one tonight. I'm actually watching the Bruins in the morning skate right now as we're talking. And
nice.
You know, I mean, 16-2, impressive record, best in the NHL, I think. And
yes,
you know, they look good. They got a new coach this year. You know, it's Jim Montgomery. He's coached before, but they look good. You know, Bergeron, you know, Pasternak, I mean, you know what? They've got some good players. I mean, they got that Krejci back from Czech. He was with the team for a long time. But, you know what? The Bruins are always tough. And you know what? They've been playing well this year, and the record shows it.
Well, let's go back to Saturday night. The Lightning are down 2-1. Killorn gets a goal, and then Stammer wins it in OT. This team is getting back to playing that more defensive style and winning games doing it. The Lightning have won 4 in a row. The Bruins have won 6 in a row. So I like the way the Lightning has played in the last four games, especially. What do you see?
Yeah, for sure. You know what? The Lightning have, they played well. I mean, I think it's just, shots on goal, turnovers, bad decisions with the puck. I mean, there were some games where we lost where, we even won some games where we're getting outshot, like, 45 shots on Vasilevsky. I mean, that's way too many shots, JP, to give up on your goalie. I mean, he is the best goalie in the world, but you can't be, leaving him on 2-on-1s and 1-on-1s and 3-on-1s and 3-on-2s the whole game. So at the end of the day, we got to be better at that, and I think we have so far. So, you know what? It's going to be a tough game tonight, but I think we've tightened up our defensive zone. Bago's just back in the lineup. I really like him coming back in the lineup. I think Cirelli's getting close right now.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully, if not Friday, maybe sometime next week, we get Anthony Cirelli back. That's going to make our team way stronger. So, I mean, he's a big piece, big piece of the puzzle here while we won the Cup the last 3 years. So, you know what? But we are playing the Bruins tonight. They're tough. They got some veteran guys, Marchand, we know what he's like, and, Pasternak and those guys, Bergeron, they're all really good top-end players for a long time.
Well, listen, this is obviously early season matchup between these two teams. They'll play, 4 times this year. But is there more on this game? I mean, you've played in games like this early in the season where, one team has kind of declared themselves as the team to beat, and that's Boston. And then you have the not so recent past future champions in the Tampa Bay Lightning. So does this game have a little bit of extra juice for it for the Lightning to come out and show, hey, we can play with this team and we're not going anywhere?
Yeah, it'll have a little extra juice. There's no question about it. I mean, the Bruins are on fire. Like you said, they've won 6 in a row. They're 16-2. I mean, we haven't seen them too much since last year. And, see what they have, They have the defenseman Lindholm, and they have some new, Charlie Coyle and different guys like that on their team. So, you know what? We didn't play in the playoffs, and, they're off to a great start. But, anytime you play Boston, it's always a little fiery out here. So, I'm original 16. But I think the guys will be ready. I'm expecting a really good game tonight. And, I want to see how good Boston is. I mean, the record's 16-2, JP. I mean, they're there for a reason. I mean, just to go on the ice and win 16, they got to be doing something well. I mean, the goaltending has been solid. I mean, Allmark and Swayman. But, I mean, there are no Vasilevsky's in net here. So let's just see. I'm looking forward to watching the game and see what they have tonight. Really. 16-2, impressive.
Yeah, the other night we obviously saw both Tampa Stars, Nikita Kucherov and Steven Stamkos, with big power play goals. Obviously, Kucherov the first one, Stamkos the winner.
Yeah.
But, you look at the stars of the league, and we're always focusing on what McDavid's doing and what Matthews is doing, Ovechkin, yada, yada, yada. But every time I look at the top of the leaderboard, I see Nikita Kucherov there every year. Do you still think that at this point in his career, I mean, the level of play right now, it seems like every night he's having a really great game? Do we still just kind of forget his excellence in the grand scheme of things a lot?
Yeah, no, Kucherov is, to me, he's the best playmaker in the NHL. And I mean, I'm not just saying that with Connor McDavid, but I mean, Connor McDavid's the best player in the NHL because what he does with the puck and score and skate, it's just, you can't duplicate that. But Kucherov, in terms of hockey smarts and making plays with the puck, there's nobody better. He is unbelievable. He's got his eyes in the back of his head, does plays that I don't even know where he comes up with that stuff. And he's getting better. Started the season, I don't think he had a goal in his first 5 games, maybe 6. Now he's got 10. He's up there with Stamkos. So, I mean, Kucherov's so good. I mean, and then the shot, Korn ties the game up, and then Stamkos has the overtime winner. I mean, nobody can stop that shot. That's just a ridiculous shot. It's unbelievable. It's just a one-time bullet right in the middle on a power play in overtime. It went right in the top corner. I mean, the goalie, I don't care who's in net. I mean, it's just an amazing one-timer like Ovechkin.
Brian Bradley joining us here from Morning Skate as Boston and the Lightning get set to set it up tonight, 7 o'clock at Amalie Arena. Going to be a great one. You mentioned Omar, who came over last year for Boston from Buffalo. And last year he was good, 2.45 goals against, 917 save percentage. But this year, my God, 1.89 goals against, 937 save percentage. He's playing out of his mind. Why is he so much better this year? Is it just the team around him? What do you see?
Yeah, you know what, JP, it's a good question. I don't know much about him. I mean, like you said, his numbers this year compared to what he had last year in Buffalo are like all-star numbers. But, I mean, let's just see. It's early in the season. You know, he hasn't been in the league a long time. So we'll see him tonight in the game. You know, hopefully he's playing, and, you know, I'm sure he is. I mean, this is they know they're going against a two-time defending Stanley Cup champs for, you know, Stanley Cup final. So it's a benchmark for both teams. And you know what? They got some good shooters like we do, and you know both goalies are going to be at their best. And you know Vazzy, he doesn't like to lose to anybody.
Right.
So you know what? This kid's gonna have to come in and help battle Vazzy in Tampa, and that's not easy to do. Let me tell you that.
Right.
Vazzy's that good. So at the end of the day, I'm looking forward to watching him playing net. You know, Allmark and for the Bruins, but I don't know much about him. But like I said, his numbers are great this year. But it's early in the season; things can change.
Yeah, off the charts, good. But they've obviously changed coach, you know, from Cassidy as well. What difference is that? Just to having a different voice in dressing room. What makes the difference there?
Well, you know, it's like anything. You know what I mean? I think Bruce Cassidy's doing a great job in Vegas.
Yeah, he is.
You know, Jim Montgomery, he was in St. Louis for the last few years after being in Dallas. I mean, you know, I think guys just get a different voice in the dressing room. They just get a different thing, like, you know, where it's a breath of fresh air. Instead of, you know, Bruce Cassidy was in Boston for 5 or 6 years. I think it just all changed. So, and you know what, the both coaches are doing great on both their teams. Las Vegas is one of the best teams in the NHL too. So, you know what, but you know, Jim does a good job. He's won in every league he's been in so far, in the USHL and all the different leagues. So, you know, he's a good coach and he's there for a reason.
All right, Brads, I will be there tonight with you watching the game. It's going to be a packed house. There'll be some energy. Get there early, folks. We've had a lot of late arriving crowds lately. So let's get there early. Be in your seats early because you want to catch my pregame show. Obviously, the best part of the night.
Yeah, yeah. Sounds like a plan.
All right, brother. I'll see you tonight.
It should be good. There'll be a lot of Bruins fans here tonight, so we need to be rocking and rolling. We want to hear them.
That's right. We want to, you know, make sure they get the L on the way out and let them know about it. Absolutely. Thanks, Brad. I'll see you tonight, buddy. Thanks.
See you, JP. Have a good one, you guys. Go Bulls.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun tonight. You know, this far into the season, ain't no faking it. You know, when you're 16-2, you're a hell of a hockey club. But it's a long season, and you know, Olmark's numbers are, I won't say dramatically better, but you know what his numbers right now compared to his career averages are way up. But you know, he's playing with a much better team. He came over last year from Buffalo, played half the season with Boston. Now he's here again, and you know, he's one of the big reasons they're where they are right now.
Yeah, and they kind of entered the season thinking they're going to have a tandem between him and Jeremy Swayman, and he's just completely taken that over, and that's how it has to be for these good teams, right? You have to have one guy in net who's a dominant, and he's turned into that here. There's a reason why they paid him a pretty good, decent contract, I think, after the 2020 season was for this type of production. But when you play defense like Boston does in front of him, again, we talk about some of the great players of this league. You're going to see one tonight in Charlie McAvoy. It's just a phenomenal defenseman in the same vein of Kale McCarr and an Adam Fox, who we got to see last year in the playoffs. So a few regular season games get me really excited, especially this early in the season. I felt that way against Edmonton a week ago, and now I feel this way tonight against Boston.
Okay, I'm checking that. Don't need to worry about that. All right, well, let's do we need another break, or we want to hit the NFL now?
We can go right into the NFL
Let's do it. Interesting day yesterday. I got a chance to watch the Chiefs-Chargers game, which was phenomenal. Travis Kelce and Pat Mahomes hooking up 3 times, including for the game winner. Kelce is playing like he's freaking 25 years old again. He looks fantastic. He's running. I mean, he's uncoverable in a one-on-one situation. And then last night with the game on the line, he took Derwin James to school. And nobody does that. Derwin James is maybe the best athlete in the NFL across the board. And he made an inside move and ran away from him for the game-winning touchdown like he was standing still. Mahomes, look, it was another close game. The Chargers aren't the best team in the league, but I just, when Mahomes is playing at the level he's playing at, and he's got so many weapons, and Kadarius Stoney got hurt last night, and they were without a couple of receivers.
No Juju.
No
Mecole Hardman.
Yeah.
Justin Watson, love him to death here in Tampa Bay.
Made a big play.
He was like wide receiver 1 on that depth chart last night, along with a rookie Sky Moore. They didn't get much out of Scantling last night either. It was really the Travis Kelce show for a majority of this game.
Yeah, Clyde Edwards-Hilaire's been demoted.
Yeah,
and Pacheco's now their lead back.
Boy, can he run.
God,
I wish they'd run more.
He's a hard runner.
They need to run the ball more.
It's so hard though when you got Mahomes.
I know that.
It's just like you're like, okay, we're gonna call a run play here, which even if it's a good run play, it's gonna be 7 to 8 yards. When Mahomes can just make magic on every freaking play, you can't keep him in the pocket. Now he's running with such real purpose. You never get a shot on him when he runs because he's so good at sliding. He's so hard to beat. He's so good. And like, how do you hand the ball off 40 times when you got that guy?
I mean, they did it against the Bucs and it worked to perfection. So,
yeah.
I mean, they can just beat you in so many different ways. Or so many. I mean, the best throw he made of the night was to Jody Fortson, for crying out loud.
Oh, my
Jody
God.
Fortson. That throw was on a frozen rope. I don't know where the window was. I don't know what he sees, but sometimes you look at greatness. What else do you say? What else do you say? He's the greatest quarterback. I seriously mean this. The most talented quarterback I have ever seen in this league. I thought Rodgers was. Mahomes is even better than Rodgers at his peak, in my opinion. And this team, 25 wins in a row in the month of November and December. They just don't lose at this time of the year.
Jesus. I didn't know that stat. That's insane. Yeah, that was one hell of a performance. And as was Dak Prescott and the Cowboys against the 9-1 Vikings?
The 8-2 Vikings now.
8-1 Vikings coming in. They destroyed them 40-3. I mean, what the hell was that from both teams? I mean, Micah Parsons, by the way, he gets injured late in the game, up 34-3, and he's still in the game. I don't know why NFL teams do this. They just leave guys in there when
it makes no sense.
Makes
to me at
no
all.
sense. I mean, if he has to miss any games or miss any time, and you're not, just no reason for that.
And
but
they put
anyway,
him
that guy's
back
a
in.
Freaking monster.
Yeah, he's unblockable. Every play, he's really unblockable. He's he's the Aaron Donald of rushing
Outside,
linebackers in this league. But to me, again, Tony Pollard he's special. It's a shame that this guy's been in the league for now 3 or 4 years. And we're just now finally seeing him maximize his potential. And all it really took was playing time. It took a Zeke injury to get him in there. 4 games where he's like pushed 150 total yards in every single one. Yesterday, he had 189 total yards. He's catching passes like a receiver because guess what? At Memphis, Mike Norvell used him primarily as a receiver.
Right.
And that's just why he's such a good weapon. But every time he runs, he's so quick at hitting the hole. It seems like he's breaking tackles and he's just getting 7, 8, 9, 10 on every touch. And then Zeke comes in there. I know Zeke got his touchdowns, right, at the goal line.
Yeah.
But Zeke comes in there, and it's just completely night and day difference.
Yeah.
Dallas is one of the best teams in the league when they have Pollard going.
It's kind of like, it's on the tip of my Leonard Fournette and Rashad White.
A little bit.
Kind of like that.
Bit.
Can we not take 4 years to figure it out? Can we just do it now and not spend 4 years saying Leonard Fournette, he's the man. We get paid. I mean, we love Lenny, but he's not the guy.
No.
Zeke is not the guy anymore. It's this league. When you carry it 350, 400 times in a season, like you're just not the same guy. You do that 3 or 4 years in a row.
Yep.
You're done. You're done. Your body can't take it. Nothing against Zeke, but he doesn't have the burst. He doesn't have the, every once in a while he can finish at the goal line. That's good. But Tony Pollard's your guy. And as I watch the NFL with an eye on the Bucs, right? Like
Yep.
where do we learn this week? And one of the things we learned, and hopefully the Bucs learned this week, is it doesn't matter where Leonard Fournette has a passport problem or not. Rashad White is RB1. End of freaking story. So if Leonard Fournette lines up, and God forbid, if Luke Gedeke lines up at left guard while Nick Everett is healthy for the rest of the year, fire the entire coaching staff. Fire them all. It's pointless.
You have no idea. You have no idea what you're doing. This team is so much better with Nick Everett in there. It's not even funny.
Well, I'm just gonna. Luke Gedeke actually was back at practice today, by the way. So,
okay,
there you go.
That's fine. And again, this is not against Luke Gedeke. He is completely unprepared to start in the NFL right now. He's not prepared. This is a guy that came out of high school at 220 pounds, wasn't recruited by anybody, and bulked up and became a good right tackle at Central Michigan. He has no business being a starting left guard right now. And you look at Nick Everett, you look at Luke Gedeke, and you go, oh, that's the starter, the big guy, right? The big guy. Nick Everett is nothing to look at. But that dude knows how to play. He knows how to play with leverage. He knows how to play. He knows how to get low. He knows how to keep people from pushing the pocket, which gives Brady a pocket to step up and throw in, which he has to have. So, all right, I'm not going to go out on a tangent on that, but my God, I mean, you got to be kidding me. And Tony Pollard, did you see the play? They're up 14-3, first half. Dak goes back and he's throwing the ball out to Pollard. He knows where he's going, but he checks his other reads. Lets the defense get some depth, and then he zips it out to Pollard, hits him right in stride, so he can get up the sideline. Pollard puts it into another gear and runs by three guys who thought they had the angle on him. A dump off turns into a 30-yard touchdown run, and you're just like, what was that? Yeah,
I'm laughing right now because quick fantasy football story, context needed. This is a dynasty league, and the trade deadline is this week, and I'm 5-5, and I needed to win this week to decide if I wanted to keep my players or go into a little bit of a rebuild, right? So what do? Faced with the decision to start Dameon Pierce or Tony Pollard?
No.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Look at you.
I started Dameon Pierce.
Oh, you started. I thought you were telling me.
No. If I started Tony Pollard, I would be 6-5 right now and clearly going for the title. But no, I'm going to be losing because Dameon Pierce got 3 points, and now I'm in a rebuild. So maybe you're onto something. Maybe I'm just bad at this fantasy football thing.
You're not good. You drafted my team, and my team's horrible.
So I love talking about Tony Pollard, but right now it hurts today.
Yep. Oh, sorry about that. All right. Other game. I watched the Bears and the Falcons. By the way, if the Falcons win this week and the Bucs lose at Cleveland, guess who's in first place?
Are they back in first place again? Are we going to keep doing this flip-flopping thing?
Yes. The Falcons.
Well,
the Falcons.
I got news for you.
So they beat the Bears yesterday, and Cordero Patterson gets his 9th kickoff return for a touchdown.
Incredible.
And it breaks Devin Hester's record, by the way. And he has been that dude is one of the biggest enigmas in NFL history, in my opinion. The size and the speed of this guy, and the fact that he has not been a weapon every single year he's played, just boggles the mind. I mean, he's 9 years in?
I was going to say, he's not a young pup. He's 32 years old.
Yeah.
And he just had a resurgence the last couple of years.
Yeah, because he got carries by the Falcons. They made him a running back. I mean, he's been this tweener guy his entire career. Is he a return guy? Is he a receiver? Is he running back? We don't know. All I know is you can't freaking tackle the dude. You can't in open space. You can't tackle the guy. So he rips off the kickoff return for touchdown. I mean, he's 225, 30 pounds. He's running away from guys, and so they Justin Fields is literally carrying the Bears. If you go back and look at the offensive numbers that the Bears have put up in the last 5 weeks with Justin Fields as quarterback, they're leading the league, 31 points a game, and he's doing whatever he wants out there with working with nothing. But it's all about him. And late in the game, I mean, he's just dog ass tired. They're down a score, and they call 2 design runs to Justin Fields. He's toast. You can see it. His body, dude, I've been hit 35 times today. Can you stop calling design runs? And what do? They call 2 design runs. He gets slammed out of bounds, and then he throws a pick. It's game over. These coaching staffs, I don't know what the F they're looking at. Sometimes I'm just you guys are getting paid to call these plays? Really? Do you not see your quarterback can't run anymore because you've run him into the ground all day, and you're down a score under 2 minutes? You need to throw the ball anyway? No, let's run the quarterback. These people are getting paid money for this?
Apparently so. I'll tell you what the most egregious thing I saw this week, though, in the NFL?
What's that?
Zach Wilson.
Oh my God!
I'm out.
Before or after? During the game or after the game?
Both.
Okay.
After the game was again just you want to talk about lack of accountability. Hey, do you feel like you left your defense down, which gave up 3 points? No, I don't. That's his answer. And then there's a report this morning from New York saying that comment has ticked off a lot of the players in that locker room.
Oh, you think?
Oh, you think is right.
You think?
So I'm out on Zach Wilson. And it does really. And beyond that, he just can't play the game. He's not an NFL quarterback. He makes every simple throw look difficult. I watched him throw a screen pass out to the left to Berrios. I think he threw it like 5 yards over his head, and he was like a little 7-yard pass like to his left.
Yeah. I don't see anything.
There's nothing there. There's nothing there. The Jets were winning games when he was injured.
Yeah.
You might as well just go back to Flacco or Mike White or whatever, because they can't push the ball down the field at all. They averaged 2.2 inches per play in the second half.
Did you see
inches?
Was it last week when he had the 3 turnovers? That were just egregious.
I think so.
I think they ended up winning the game, so it didn't matter. But they were just so egregious. He's just throwing the ball up for grabs. I mean, just throwing. And then you say that after you put your defense in that.
And that's how he is at every press conference, by the way. They asked him to, critique your game. Do you feel like you've taken a step ahead or anything?
Like if you're Tom Brady, you can get away with that. And
Yeah.
not taking accountability. But if you're Zach Wilson, you can't. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, the Jets give up 3 points and you lose the game like on that fashion, and it's because of Zach Wilson. Don't mistake anything there.
All right, the Bengals beat the Steelers 37-30. Of course, the Bucs are going to play the Bengals at home here in a few weeks. So the Bengals are now 6-4 after a dreadful start. The Steelers are 3-7. Joe Burrow is starting to heat up and be the guy. I mean, when you watch him play, he is still, to me, okay, Mahomes is unbelievable. But with what Joe Burrow's working with just team-wise and his ability to throw the ball with accuracy and timing and anticipation, I'm not saying he's better than Mahomes, but my God, this guy is one of the most talented throwers of the football I think I've ever seen in my life. He throws into windows that are just ridiculous and takes a beating most of the time and continues to do it. And again, yesterday was phenomenal.
Yeah, and their offense without Jamar Chase, by the way, explodes for 37. Now it is the worst pass defense in the NFL, the Steelers. So take it for what it is. But Samaje Perine, probably the most unlikely 3-touchdown game you're ever going to see as a receiver. So, I mean, yeah, the Bengals, to me, they're still a little bit of enigma, in my opinion. Every week they're great, and then the next week, like they had against Cleveland on that Thursday night or that Monday night, rather, they have a game like that where you're like, what the hell? But at their best, there's no doubt about it. They are still every bit the Super Bowl team they were last year.
Yeah, the defense is dreadful, so you don't worry too much about that. The Bucs have to go to Cleveland this week, and you mentioned Gedecke's back at practice. Giovanni Bernard is now off the IR. So, I mean, like, are they going to cut him? I mean, clearly Rachaad White is running back 1. I think Fournette, if he gets his head right, will obviously be a threat and he will help you. But I think he's got to embrace that secondary role.
Yeah, and even
Keyshawn Vaughn.
Keyshawn Vaughn's played himself into getting a few snaps a game.
He should. Yeah. He should. I mean, I don't. Giovanni Bernard, are we even wasting reps on this guy in practice?
I didn't see it last year when he was completely healthy, to be honest with you. I think he's just past it. So, but the bigger one to me, Russell Gage was back at practice as well today. So 3 weeks off now. I'm hoping the hamstring's a lot better now.
Yeah, that's a big deal because Julio Jones has stepped up and he's a weapon if he can stay healthy. But Russell Gage, I mean, this is a guy that was a 1,000-yard receiver in Atlanta.
They're paying him to be that guy.
We're paying him a lot of money, and he's got. I mean, right now we haven't seen anything, but he's been injured. He's been injured since
camp,
since preseason. So we haven't seen the best of Russell Gage, and I think now they've taken the time, they've given him the time to get better. So if we can get a guy like that who's productive and has great hands and is a really, really good receiver, has been productive in this league, and he and Brady can get a little something going, and Evans and Godwin is getting better, and that rest for Godwin should be tremendous, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Julio, hopefully, again, and we're seeing, and this week off, if we can see this coaching staff do the right things, they should be in terms of Rachaad White being number 1, Nick Everett being obviously the starter, and Cade Otton starting to get those reps that Cam Brate's getting.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I mean, we're going to get a lot into this game this week as we move forward here, but The Bucs are a 3-point favorite right now going on the road. This might be one of those snow games, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
This could be. So we'll see. But I tell you what, I'm smashing a lock on the Bucs this week. I have confidence that they're going to go into Cleveland and kick some ass. I think Cleveland's just a dead team going nowhere right now.
Well, Cleveland lost to Buffalo yesterday, 31-23 in the game up in Detroit, where Buffalo will be back, I guess, for Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Right? They're coming right back. But Cleveland lost 31-23. Josh Allen is still just not the Josh Allen that we've seen in many ways. But the Browns just, again, were not able to capitalize on the opportunities that they got. I think they're still a decent football team. Jacoby Brissett had a nice day. They still got Nick Chubb, who wasn't good yesterday, but they've got some pieces.
Yeah.
What the Bucs have to do is just worry about themselves and go continue to build on what they did in Seattle. Last quarter against the Rams.
Yeah, they do. And I mean, the big guy there, obviously Nick Chubb, but I think he had like 14 yards in this game. Like Buffalo completely shut him down.
Yeah.
And I think
19 yards on 14 carries.
Yeah, and I know Brissett had a solid day, but more often than not, I don't think if you have Brissett having to carry the load, I don't think Cleveland's winning many games.
He's better than people think, though. He's better than people think. He's better than people think.
You know who's better than people think, or at least than I think?
Who's that?
Taylor Heineke, who wins another damn football game.
I'm telling you. I've been telling you about this cat forever.
I like the Commanders. They're 6-5.
Yeah.
The Commanders.
Commodes.
The Commodes.
Stop talking about the Commodes.
The NFC is loaded. The NFC East is loaded. They're in last place, and they're 6-5.
The NFC East is loaded. You just said that.
I didn't lie.
Look at if you are what your record says you are, there you go. Everybody's over 500.
Yeah, I mean, the Giants took an incredible step back yesterday against the Lions, but
week-to-week league.
It's a week-to-week league. The Eagles, the last play of the game, it took them right up there to win against Indianapolis.
How about that?
So a lot of teams looking vulnerable now around Thanksgiving, and I think this is good for the Bucs because I think some of these teams have already played their best football and you could say have peaked already, and the Bucs have not.
They have not, and they're getting guys back, and they're still thought that they might get Ryan Jensen back. So yeah, this is a team on the come at 5-5. They've won 2 in a row. They go to Cleveland after a week off. They should take care of business, and then win some. They're going to be probably favored in 6 of their last 7 games. Get to 10-7. You may even get to 11. Who knows? But this is a time they're in position to turn it around, and I think they have. All right, that'll do it for us today. Our thanks to Jeff Antonella for joining us here today. Brian Bradley as well. Go Team USA, 2 o'clock. Turn on your TV on Fox, the big Fox, Fox 13, and they'll play Wales in a game that will probably decide if they can get to the second round or not. This is the game, folks. Don't get it twisted. I know they got 3 in a group, but this is the game. They got to win this one. We'll see what happens, and we'll be talking about it tomorrow. Have a great day. Go Bolts. Go USA.